It is what it is, man. Outside my window. Check, 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 check. Outside my check, 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 check. Broke out in a bitch, yeah. Check, 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 check. What happened? Did my shit get cut off, bruh? I think we're good. Alright. Let's get to it, man. I ain't got all night. Don't got all night. Outside my window. I'm finna add that back to my Spotify. I need that. That nigga Lil Wayne go stupid, man. What's good, Raphael? Let's get to it, you dig? Outside my window.
The Somalian community in Minnesota is so cooked.
Is that
This
right?
like the worst PR any group of people can ever get.
The Somali community still has some problems, and it's not looking good. But
Is
the
that
one
right?
thing about the Somalis is that they're not backing down from anything. In fact, they think it's funny.
Oh, do they?
I'm a Minnesota Somalian. Of course I live in a big house funded by United States taxpayers.
I'm a Minnesota Somalian. Of course we have the most luxurious cars.
But it's stuff like this that really piss people off. And so this happens.
Send him
YouTuber
back.
Nick Shirley linked up with another dude who's already been investigating fraud in the Somalian community in Minnesota. And they exposed $100 million in fraud from the
Hold
Somali
on now. Hold on now.
in Minnesota. And they exposed $100 million in fraud from the Somalian community. They so cooked, this video here went so viral that the president of the United States reacted to this.
So
Is that
there's
right?
a YouTuber by the name of Nick Shirley. He's kind of an investigative YouTuber. Dropped this video called "I Investigated Minnesota's $1 billion fraud." Of course, we know about some of the scandals going on
I might
with
have to look
Minnesota's
that one
community.
up.
It was a 43-minute video.
43?
And it
Oh,
almost
hell no,
has
I
2
can't do
million
that.
views. Allegedly, the video has so many views that Donald Trump has even talked about it.
Is
The
that
reality
right?
is this: these inspector or investigative videos have also brought out other things that the Somali community was not expecting.
Here in Minnesota, a local realtor reached out to me to tell me about another way that Somalians are scamming Minnesotans out of their taxpayer dollars. In her community alone, Somalians have bought up over 455 homes. They buy these homes, claiming they're turning these homes into home health care centers.
Home health
She
care
says
centers?
The way we know Somalians have bought these homes is because all of a sudden, extremely nice cars start showing up. Mercedes, BMWs, the nicest cars are parked in the driveway.
Yeah,
And
they
she said
finessing.
by law, the state will not come out and inspect these homes.
By
and
law.
make sure these homes even have clients living in these homes. She also said, as a realtor, she cannot disclose to people wanting to buy homes in this neighborhood that Somalians have bought that home and they're using that as a home health care center. She said these homes can even take people in who've just been released from jail, and the neighborhood does not need to know about this. But she says many of these homes
confidential.
do not even have clients in them. But the state is writing them checks every month for the clients that the Somalians say are in these homes, and these Somalians are making millions of dollars off of these homes every year. The Somalians have figured out exactly the perfect plan as to how to scam Minnesota taxpayers out of
That's
their money.
crazy.
They are banking on this, making millions of dollars And the government here in Minnesota is too lazy to go and check it out and to see if there's even clients living in these homes. The fraud in Minnesota is so deep.
So again, we keep hearing about these particular empty businesses. We've heard about it also with Section 8 housing.
See,
the same thing.
when I first heard that they was starting businesses or whatever, I just assumed they was getting it off the muscle. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know they was over here doing home health scams and it's being funded by tax money, bro. That's crazy.
very, very nice cars. We hear about it right now with the real estate scams. And then we also hear that, listen, all of these dudes have these very, very nice cars in their apartment complexes or in the houses they have. And this is interesting because it just shows like they're completely apathetic. They do not care. They don't care what anybody thinks. They're just doing this out in the open. Like they're flaunting, just like the first initial kind of clip went. But it's not just the real estate scams that are hurting them.
As part of its social services, Minnesota offers something called non-emergency medical transportation. This is to take the elderly or disadvantaged to any type of therapy, medical or dental, anything.
So they basically
Probably
getting
even
paid
yoga.
to do that.
Research
Allegedly
by
do
Nick
it.
Shirley shows that there are 1,020 registered companies providing this service.
What do they need that many for?
More than 800
Goddamn.
are Somali-owned.
Ain't no
Problem
way.
is, there's no means to check or verify if any actual rides are being provided.
There ain't no
These
rise, but you don't need
companies
you don't need 1,000 companies, bro. You don't need 1,000 companies in one city to offer the same type of transportation, bro. What? And 800 of them are owned by Somalians? Nah, them niggas is going crazy out there, boy. Bro, and you want to be real? It's the officials, whoever's in charge. You know what I'm saying? It's their fault for not doing their job, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because to let it build up that much, bro, 800, bro, you have to get this, and they're getting taxpayer money to do that. Bro, they scaled up 800 of the same company, bro.
Send the government an invoice and receive.
Apparently there's already 200 other ones. That already alone seems like it's a lot. I don't know how big Minnesota is, but
Receive a check for payment. How many of our taxpayer dollars do you think are going down this fraudulent rat hole?
So this is a guy that's talking about an elderly scam. Again, a lot of Somalis are involved in the healthcare industry in Minnesota. This is not everybody, but this is something that is becoming a problem. And so they're saying that, hey, they're taking the elderly to these places. They are not doing so. They're pocketing the money. And then the state of Minnesota is just signing off on it. But then
they bold,
there
boy.
is this problem.
Nick Shirley, I hope you see this video. Please come to Columbus, Ohio. The reporting you did in Minnesota was amazing. Thank you for that. And if you come to Columbus, Ohio, you will find the exact same fraud.
Is that right?
You will see the exact same things. Daycares everywhere. The home health care. I mentioned that in my video.
Bro,
I do not have your bravery.
foreigners are smarter than Americans, bro. I'm convinced. Although this is illegal, bro, they know they're smart enough to even think about doing a loophole, doing a scam like this, bro. Start up a business. You know what I'm saying? And successfully do the scam. You know what I'm saying? Maybe America is just scared to do it. I don't know. But, bro, we ain't doing that, bro. We want Gucci and Louis, but don't want to go start a business to get it, though. You know what I'm saying? These niggas is coming over here, bro, and getting government tax money to start healthcare businesses. And they pocketing the money, bro. That's insane.
to go out here and knock on doors like you did.
Every foreigner that comes here, bro, they come here for opportunities like this, bro. Not saying it's a scam, but like they come over here to work and to create something for themselves, bro. Why the fuck don't Americans do this, bro? This shit is insane.
I don't even
bro.
want to leave my room right now, okay? But you could come here and do what needs to be done. Please. Please investigate. Please talk to our government officials. And you see how the police escorted you out of that building? The Columbus police are on the same take, I am sure. Allegedly. Let me say allegedly before I got the Columbus police coming after me, as well as the Somalis. It's a lot. In the meantime, please come here and investigate. You will find the exact same things, and the rest of the country needs to know that it is real. Thank you for all you are doing, and please, please, please stay safe.
So this particular sister lives in Columbus, Ohio, and that's another place where allegedly the Somali community they reside there. They're doing business there and things like that. So this is something that's very important. Now, what she has alleged is that Nick Shirley should come and also do investigative journalism in Columbus. Because see, what happens is so many people become afraid because they don't want to go out and do it themselves. They're elderly, or they're afraid of what may happen. They're afraid of what the police may do. They're afraid of what the Somali community may do. So they don't want to do it. The issue is now that when people start to see what's going on, they start to put a kind of like a bird's eye view on your community. So other people start to say, hey, come to Ohio, come here, right? And I've talked about this before. And again, you would think that the Somali community would just say, you know what, we really need to stop and, stop doing what we're doing. But the reality is the opposite. So now what these people are doing, in particular, not just Black Americans, but white Americans, is now they're pulling the lid off of the trash can, if you will. And now they're looking at these empty healthcare facilities. Now, if the state of Minnesota were signing off on these things, and if they were just approving these budgets for taxpayers before, here's what's going to happen. Now, Minnesota has to show as a state that we are fair, okay? We want parity. We want trust. And this is what guys don't understand. A lot of these dudes that deal, dealing drugs or dealing fraud, they think they're too big to fail. The problem is that when people start to realize what you're doing and how it affects other people, then the only next step is to hold what is accountable for dispersing the money. In this case, it's the state. The state, regardless of being Democrat or Republican.
Bro, that's what I said, bro. It's the officials' fault for letting it get this bad, bro. People don't be doing their job, bro. You know what I'm saying? These people walk around with the suit and tie on and act like they so important in life, but y'all niggas is out here just not even doing your job. You niggas ain't shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing worse. Bro, the biggest scammers are the ones in the suit and ties, bro. They the biggest con men. You know what I'm saying, though? They the biggest con men because they smart. They know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? I refuse to believe, bro. Man, the government is in some type of cahoots with this, bro. You know what I'm saying? The people, them officials, the people who's in office, in position to do something about this ain't never done nothing about it, bro. And it would have kept going on if it wasn't for Trump. That make Trump look good. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter. You will not be able to use, well, see, this is Donald Trump doing this. This Donald Trump is hating. This is racism. See, you can say that to a point. But now when taxpayers, both Democrat or Republican, if they're seeing that our tax dollars, which would go to infrastructure, education, right? There's going to come a time where the cost of BS is too much. And this is what happens in any business, any enterprise, state or federal. Once BS is too expensive, you have to cut it. And so what's going to happen is Minnesota is going to have to stand on trial for saying, listen, who is dispersing this money to X, Y, and Z when we are not getting any returns? that is going to be a conversation above racism. That is going to be a conversation above prejudice. That is going to be a conversation above white supremacy, because the numbers are not racist, okay? A theft is not racist. So all they have to do is remove all of those talking points. Oh, they're discriminating against Somalis. Oh, they're discriminating against black immigrants. All you have to do is remove that. Anybody who's intelligent will not even engage in that. All they gotta do is engage on.
Well, to be real, all we've heard so far is that it's these motherfucking Somalis doing this shit.
The behavior. And then once you start engaging in the behavior, it doesn't matter about who that group is anymore as their identity, they're Muslim, they're gonna look at that. And then simply what
I feel like it does though. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it does though, to a point.
they're gonna do is they're gonna say,
Cause they're the only ones doing this shit. The Mexicans don't come over here and do that. They may be illegal and finessing in a different way, but they not bold enough. They know America don't fuck with them like that. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't even bold enough to do no shit like that. The Asians don't do that. The Arabs don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's these motherfuckers.
okay, well, the Minnesota public demands us to do this. Then the Ohio public will start to demand that, right?
And then allegedly the Hodge twins posted a little screenshot, a little post talking about Somalis is the most they take the most from tax money without giving, you know what I'm saying, across, like, I guess it was the Netherlands is what that was. That was just that one specific area, I believe. But man, you see what's going on here though.
And now you have Minnesota and Ohio, and once those numbers come out and they see who's doing it, after all, then what's going to happen is the way that your community was getting rich, it won't be there anymore. All they got to do now is just start safeguarding that disbursement. So then all your cars get repossessed. Who's getting the money? Those people get repossessed. Lock all those people up.
Them niggas about to
and
get
then what
deported.
happens is that now that they can start putting those chokeholds on you, and while you're making fun of everything, thinking that stuff is sweet, now that income you had before, all of that you had before is now done, and then now you got to go out there and get it the legal way. And then for all of your communities, they can't come out and say, well, you know, we're watching the Somalis. They can't come out and say that, and they won't. But even the Minnesota Democrats will come out and say, hey, listen, we got to watch the Somalis because our job is on the line. Think about Tim Walsh and all of the people right now. If you're a Republican in Minnesota, what can you say when you're running against the guy? Well, you see this guy in his tenure, he allowed this fraud from the Somali community to go. And see, he should not be allowed to be governor again, right? Elect me as a Republican and we'll get rid of all of these dudes and we'll go ahead and finish everybody. And now what happens is if you're a person in the state of Minnesota and you see this, you can say, what, our government was doing this with my tax dollars? Taxes are high, they did this. We need a regime change. And then all you need is for some Republicans to come in there and take Minnesota, and those guys in the Somali community are done. All of them that doing that are done. And they safeguard the community, and they look at everything that you're doing. They look at everything. They look at all your businesses. They look at what you're doing. They look at what time you're doing it. And then the federal government comes in and starts to look at it. And then once the feds get a hold of it, it's over. Just like that. Just like that. And people that come from, let me just say, the third world and those communities where you're not used to your government doing anything like that. I can tell you that happens all the time. Like I live in Uganda. People who are involved in some level of fraud, some level of deceit, it's almost impossible for somebody to stop you in Uganda because the governments don't have that, unless it's really bad. The governments don't have funding and stuff to find all this. And so if you're coming from Somalia, where your government for sure wouldn't have this and you gotten away with it for so long, you can start getting beside yourself. You're dealing with the United States government where everybody is brought down. And if the feds get you, they have a 98 to 99% conviction rate against all.
Deportation.
Right? They can blackball your entire community for almost forever. And they ain't gotta say, oh, okay, well, this person needs Somalis. They don't have to say your name. They can, behind the scenes, put a check mark. Oh, that's a Somali person? Oh, okay. Look at the last name. Okay, look at this right here. Okay, boom, 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 boom. And
That's
at a bird's
prejudice.
eye view. And just monitor you all the time. Monitor where you go, monitor where you're leaving to, and then just pick you off like that. That's all they gotta do. And there's nothing you can do to defend against it. And then again, these guys, these Democratic guys, they don't want to lose their jobs. They don't want to lose their jobs. So if that means throwing you underneath the bus so they can live, they're gonna do that. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy OCD Jackson back at it.
Yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. We on the road to 100K, okay? If you ain't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turned on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself. Because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. I'll get at you on the next one, and I'm gone. TYP the name. Hey, y'all, I know this live just started, but I gotta go, man. I'm fucking tired. Oh, my God. I'll have to upload this in the morning. Well, I'll drag and drop it. But I'll have to finish that in the morning. Hey, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in, though, bro. I'll get at y'all probably Saturday. I'll probably be live again or something, man. So be on the look.